They are lawyers and solicitors located in Harrogate, doing this business 5.5 years. His previous jobs were a classroom assistant and training solicitor. His spouse is Julia Gray, Mary Roberts. His children are Rosa, 7, and Ben, who is 5. His animals are 3 tasty-looking chickens. His hobbies are football, running, football, and eating, and his other interests are football. His hometown is Harrogate, but he's actually in Mancunian. Volunteer that information. He's been around here for 10 years, so nowhere near a Yorkshire yet. His learning desire is to grow to 100 people. Something no one knows about Andrew was back in China. He once saved the life of a US congressman's son. Any recourse from that? His key success is fast forward the luck that you have received and the praise.
Before you start, we're trying something new. This is a live stream for Facebook, so behave yourselves, everybody. And can we just do one more thing? Can you all take your phones out like training? Take a photo of Andrew, pop it up on social media after the training, and if the next person doesn't do it, maybe you can help them. So if you take a photograph now, then after the meeting, you can all put it up. And then don't forget to say, if you'd like to visit the group, please message me, and then you might get some visitors out of it.
Just 2 minutes left.
Ready to go?
So I'll try it. Okay, Andrew, sorry about that.
It's okay.
You may now start.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Patrick. And welcome to all the millions of people on Facebook Live watching me. You can hear the internet breaking, can't you, as we sit here today. And welcome to my family as well, who said they were going to tune in, but I imagine they were asleep at 7:30 this morning. So during these 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you about me and tell you about my business and our mission. And the next 3 photographs will tell you everything you need to know about Andrew Gray. There's my family, wonderful family with a family selfie. You need a selfie stick. And in order to avoid my family as much as possible, I play a lot of football. And if you can squint, you can see that truthfully got 2 sponsors, that football team, which I only played it because I'm one of the taller people in the team. The rest of them are quite short, as you can see. On the right here is with myself and Teresa Bow, our accountant, we did the Yorkshire Marathon, or York Marathon a few weeks ago, and so I say that Teresa came ahead of me by about an hour, didn't you, Teresa?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, thank you, yes. Now, I'd like to tell you about my first day at work as a lawyer. I don't think any lawyer in the history of lawyers has ever had a more eventful day than I had. And it's that day itself, Monday the 15th of August 2005, is the reason why I'm standing here today, having set up a law practice 5 years ago. The day itself working in Manchester went really, really well. No complaints. Though that night, I had to go and collect my wife, Julia, or soon-to-be wife, from Piccadilly train station. Is anyone familiar with Nottingham? Really familiar with it? Well, 11 o'clock at night is not the kind of place you want to be at Piccadilly train station. So I drive down there with my poor dog in the car. I'm wearing jeans and t-shirts. And I get out of the car and outside where all the taxi ranks are. And I start walking towards the train station. And being a Mancunian, obviously harder than everyone, all the Yorkshire people in the room, of course, you know when something is going to go down. And as a man starts walking towards me, and he's just eyeballing me, and I think, oh, he's going to smash me to the floor. And that's exactly what he did. So he smashed me to the floor and put his fist into my face, and he says, "You're under arrest." And as a lawyer, and anyone would, you sort of say, "Where's your ID? Where's your ID?" And there was no comment at all. He said, "I'm going to put you in the back of a van." Back of a van. I said, "Where's your ID?" Back of a van. So we had a scuffle, and I won. Would you believe it or not? And screaming like a baby, I ran down the streets of Manchester calling for the police. I hid for a while and then managed to find some people who called the police. An unmarked police van shows up and puts me in the back of the van, and they go around on the radios and said there's been attempted kidnapping in Manchester. Okay, so I'm trying to get to grips with this situation, as you can imagine, on my first day of work. And we then do an area sweep at Piccadilly Station, and we come across a bloke who looks a little bit like me, who'd just been arrested by the police. And the police in my van get out and see this chap, and my wife's standing nearby as well. I'm kind of trying to figure this situation out. And it transpired that what had happened was an off-duty British Transport police officer who didn't have his ID thought that I'd held up Sainsbury's at gunpoint, which clearly that I hadn't. That was my first day on the job. And then I had to, on my day 2, had to walk into work, see the managing partner, black and blue. But that incident has, as you imagine, caused me a great deal of shock and led me to form a firm of solicitors about 5 years ago, which was specialising in assaults. That's what we did. We now do many other things. And so, after 5 years of working in Leeds, I set up my practice. I worked for some of the large law firms, which you may know. Our mission when setting up was to provide access to justice to as many people as we could. 5 years on, this is my team. You recognise one of them, perhaps. We have Helen, Mirek, Nadia, Magdalena, John, Elaine, Emily, Georgina, and Stephen. And one other person has agreed to join yesterday. My job, essentially, is to look after these people, because these people look after my clients. So Richard Branson's saying, but I believe it's absolutely true. In fact, although we're only been going for 5 years, I've counted up last night, and we've got 25 years worth of service. Because of the people that join my business, I don't want them to leave, the good ones anyway. Today, we represent about 450 people around the country, and we've been in BNI for over 3.5 years, I think, of the 5 years we've been going. I'd like to credit and thank you, BNI, for all the support we've had during that time. Now, we've got quite a few websites at Truth Legal, and online marketing is hugely important to us. This is just one of them. It's Truth Legal branded, but unless you can read Polish, you'll struggle to understand what it's all about. The reason why it's in Polish is because 1/3 of our clients are, of course, Polish, and 2 of our members of staff are as well. I must say to any employers watching, please treat your Polish staff nicely. What we see doing claimant work is often there's an apartheid state where Polish workers are dismissed for most trivial matters that British workers tend not to be so. And as you can perhaps imagine, representing migrant workers isn't the most lucrative area of work, but we give away about 23 hours of legal advice per week to the Polish community, and we're pleased to do so. We've got another website, another brand. Our website is kind of produced by Gary's firm. Thank you, Gary. It's called Alchemy Law, and it's been on for 2.5 years. One of my colleagues, Stephen Hattersley, who's an outstanding solicitor, completely tenacious. He runs Alchemy Law for us. Now then, what sort of time are we on? We are at 4 minutes, I think. This is a case study of Mr. P. Obviously, I can't give his name. This is a type of case that we do. This would be the sort of dream referral and the sort of the misery that we sort of work in. Mr. P, lovely chap, his job was to drill a mezzanine floor, as in drilling the concrete floor, and there's a floor below that. And his boss gave him a harness and with a ropes. And he said to his boss, well, boss, if I'm drilling the floor and the floor collapses, this harness is too long, and I'm just going to go and smash my face on the floor below. And his boss says, well, you know, get on with it, do the job. I think you can see what's happening next. Next thing he remembers, he's sort of just about waking up in hospital. What had transpired, of course, was that the floor had collapsed, and he collapsed with it, smashing his face. And he developed a fracture to his skull. When the air ambulance crew showed up, you could see parts of the skull actually inside his brain. Lucky Mr. P, though, despite it being unfortunate, he actually made not a bad recovery, but really struggled at work, as you can imagine, with an injury that severe. And Mr. P did not want to sue his employer because, come on, who wants to sue anybody? No one really wants to do so. So he didn't want to sue, but after 18 months, he decided to do so. And despite the insurance company for the employer sort of saying it's partially his fault, go figure, the insurance companies, if you're watching, don't do that. They eventually settled for about £300,000. Mr. P is doing all right, kind of look a little bit, but the future is not so entirely rosy for him. So that's the kind of case, is that sort of dream referral. This is another one I can talk about. This is a case which was in the news in ITV. It's a few years ago now. This is Britain's most famous protester. She's a client of mine, and we won a human rights case for her when she was arrested by West Yorkshire Police for apparently breach of the peace. It says there, her solicitor Andrew Gray says, my client was arrested for alleged breach of the peace by West Yorkshire Police in order to stop exercising freedom of expression. Such heavy-handed and arbitrary use of state force is wholly unnecessary in the circumstances. Totally agree with that. So that's another type of case that we do. It's very common representing protesters. Now, like BNI for us, in the BNI system, testimonials are hugely important and influential. For us as well, sort of testimonial reviews online, and also TripAdvisor reviews, but Trustpilot reviews are pretty good as well. So presently on Trustpilot, we've got a score of 8.9 out of 10. We'll help you to improve that in due course. Now then, this is our Truth Legal website, and this is part of the website I've been talking about the last few weeks. And this is our legal library. It's entirely free. What you can do is you can go onto our website and download legal documents. Because what lawyers tend to have is what's got in their brains, and we're trying to get it out of our brains onto sort of documents for anyone to use. So if you click on them, you don't need to put your email address in. We're not harvesting email addresses. The reason why we're doing this is so if we can't help people on the telephone, we can provide them with the documents for free so they can do their sort of DIY case themselves. It's part of our commitment to providing access to justice. What time are we on now? Yes, thank you. So these are kind of referrals we're looking for. It's employment law, it's personal injury, and industrial disease sort of matters. And we are nearly at the stage where I ask you for questions. And if you can see the Truth Legal emblem all over the beach. Questions, anybody? So Simon?
Andrew, we often arrange home insurance, and sometimes it comes with a sort of legal fees cover. Would that cover your fees or anything like that?
So a very astute question, that is, yes it is. So yeah, a lot of people don't realise that they've got legal expenses insurance. So you got to get on your home insurance, your home contents, your buildings, sometimes on your mortgage, as Simon says. And if you've got that, and you've got a situation at work, maybe you've been dismissed, or maybe a sofa's been delivered and it's wrong, or the builders have made a mistake, you can access the legal expenses policy and bring it to any sort of solicitor. They've got freedom of choice and pay the legal bill in its entirety. Good. Any other questions? Paul?
The episode with the police where the rest of it's in the ground, what sort of learning points did you take from that?
Well, people's memories, mine included, are often false. So I remember the chap getting out of what it was, a black car, and it wasn't a black car. It turned out it was a green car when he was watched back on CCTV by the officers. I thought he was wearing this item of clothing, but he wasn't. He was wearing something else. I had no reason to sort of mislead anybody, but my recollection was flawed. So you must bear in mind that in any sort of situations, when you say someone definitely did it, did they definitely do it? Because your recollections are often woefully inaccurate. Also, dogs give very poor witness statements, and the dog watched the whole thing. Dreadful witness. Neil?
Yeah, what about to see your business going in the future?
I'd want to increase it tenfold from where it is today. And so my mission is if we can help as many people as possible with sort of 10, 11 people working for us now, how many more people can we help out if we have 100 people, 200 people? Alan?
Andrew, yeah, what's your views and opinions about some of the lawyers that are out there, that their approach to what they do compared to what you do?
That's a great question. That's one of the reasons why the business called Truth Legal and ethics are hugely important to us. So I think personal injury is like the most important area of law. Other than saving someone on some death row, what could be more important than helping Mr. P get his life back together again? But you're right, it's completely tarnished by the text messages, the PPI style stuff that you get. I think it's all pretty outrageous, frankly. And the government is also paid for by the insurance sector, and the insurance sector actually owns quite a lot of the companies that put out a lot of the text messages. So it's we feel always under threat by the government and the insurance lobby, and also from some of the cowboys that do some of those things that you're written.
That's really interesting to know. Well done.
Thank you.